God bless you. Welcome to Awakening Television. If you had all the money you needed, what will you pursue? What goals do you want to achieve? Who are you going to help if you had all the resources you need? I really want to teach you how to be rich following the concepts, the principles of Jesus Christ. Do you know the Lord always talking about money to communicate the value of the kingdom? He uses money as an illustration to show how we can excavate the treasures of the kingdom and to translate it into servitude, whereby we can enhance people and multiply them, solve their problems, help them to achieve their aspirations so that they can now give us the income that we need. It's time for you to understand that the future you really want is really based on the outcome you create for them. If you create an outcome of value, then you have the right to demand the income that you really want. So therefore, how you are going to live in the future based on the income you generate is really based on your servitude today. That is what Jesus Christ was teaching the disciples. And I believe you need to know this, understand this concept so that you can have the life you really desire to live. It is not just based on your spirituality. It's not how many hours you pray, how often you go to church. All is needed to unlock the dimension of the divine potential in you. But for you to have an essential life of your humanity, to enjoy life here on earth, you need money. You need the currency of value that will literally enrich you with what you need to purchase, to finance, to access the riches that you want. Jesus said it in another way. In Luke chapter 16, verse 11, when he's teaching his disciples another dimension of discipleship, he says to the disciples, if you have not been faithful with unrighteous mammon, who is going to commit unto you true riches? Who is going to commit unto your trust true riches? So he's saying to them, true riches is a byproduct of how they treat money. Their money management will secure the future they want. And so therefore, the life you live in the future is really not just God giving it to you. It is you obtaining it, you accessing it, you purchasing it by your ability to really relate with money. Your management of money is going to determine the quality of your life in the future. It is not just your spirituality. That is why a lot of people pray more, fast more, go to church often, frequent. They love God, they are committed to God. But because they have not learned to translate that experience, that divine endowment, that impartation into business system, they don't know how to be able to access the future. Remember, if we are going to be relevant and significant as the church, it is not we playing church in the building. It is we doing business in the secular that is going to make us relevant and significant. That's why Jesus said that do business till I come. He didn't say do church till I come. Church is to emphasize your spirituality and awaken you to your divine potential. But business is to literally unleash the value of your humanity, to impart your generation with the servitude in the nature of God, so that your service communicates the value of your message much more than the information that you preach. God wants us to communicate the good news, not just by telling people about the news, but we do good to them and then we explain it with the news. That is what God wants to do. So today I want to talk about true riches. How are you going to get the riches? How do you secure the future you want? How do you design the life you really want? What is it going to take to step into that dimension of blessing that God has ordained for you? How do you get that life? The Lord gives a parable in Luke chapter 16 by sharing with us an illustration so that as we extract the philosophies in this concept, we get the blueprint, we get the roadmap, we get the system that will take us to the place where we enjoy the life we really want, which is called the true riches. So what is he saying to the disciples? He says to them, a rich man called his servant because it had been complained to him that he was misusing the resources that was given to him. He was abusing his position. He was not fulfilling the assignment of his stewardship. But this servant was enjoying the riches of his master. He was not paying bills. He was not, everything about his livelihood was taken care of. And so because he was not fulfilling the assignment, the master decided he was going to sack him. is getting rid of him. But before he does that, he wants him to give an account with what he has done with his money and his investment and his resources. This steward understood that if he doesn't do anything quickly, he's going to have a rough future. His life is going to go down, retrogress. He's going to literally go through a hard life. And he calls that digging or begging. So he decided to come up with a strategy to negotiate deals with business people, so that when he's out of this particular occupation, he will now be embraced into their homes so that they can take care of him. He secured a residual and a passive income by the business he did that. He developed relationship that would guarantee the future that he wants. He made sure that he engaged in businesses to guarantee the future that you want. So therefore, it is only business that will give you the security of your future, not your spirituality. It is not just how many hours you pray, but it is the quality of value you communicate that will determine where your future will be. So you need to understand that we need a healthy balance between our spirituality and our entrepreneurship, so that we can establish the kingdom of dominion, influence, leadership in the world. Otherwise, we are going to talk about all the good stuff about what God can do, but it is going to elude us because we don't have what it takes to manifest that promise. So therefore, a lot of people talk about the promises of God, the prophetic revelation, the encounters with God, but yesterday they are living a subservient life. Why? Because we don't know what to do to go to the next level, to manifest, to create the future that we want right now. How do you do it? In other segment, I began to emphasize that your future, the quality of your life in the future, is based on the effectiveness of your stewardship today. The management of your resources will determine the quality of your life. The leverage you need to be able to succeed is not just it's not just dodging difficulties and challenges. No, actually, as a steward, you're always looking for problems, because that is where the essence and significance of your servitude is needed. You should be a problem solver. You have to be you have to help people to discover opportunity, help them to achieve their aspect, multiply them, enhance their life. You should be a steward that is always looking for ways and means to improve people. And so as a steward, what must you do to be able to get started, to really design and get the true riches you're looking for? What do you do? In Matthew chapter 25, the Lord gave another parable to illustrate the servitude that he wants us to engage in. He says to the disciples that a rich man, a man was traveling to a far country. He called his own servant and delivered unto them his goods. And then he gave them talents according to their several ability. Now, this servant went and traded with the same and made another talent. Now, when the master came, he rewarded them because they have been profitable by trading in the marketplace. So he says to them, you've been good and you've been faithful. So because of that, I'll make you ruler of many things. So look at the structure. He gave them goods, then he gave them talent. Talent is currency, value. And so by their ability, they translated the goods to become a talent. And the talent of currency, they brought it into the market. So they did not take the goods to the market. Rather, they translated the value they have developed, created, into the marketplace. So they went to the marketplace not to sell goods, but they went to the marketplace to go and sell value of currency or talent. Now, when the Bible says the person went and then traded with the same. So for you to be able to have access and to be a ruler over many things, the true riches, having the leverage and the ability to live life on your own terms, you need to now turn your goods of investment of what you possess to be a value of talent. Take that and go to the marketplace. They went, they traded with the same and made another. So therefore they went. That means you need to know who you are, your identity, your brand. They went, that is marketing and sales. And then they traded. So that means they went to the market and they sold. And then when they sold, they made profit. That is money management. Because of their profitability, the master came and then promoted them to be ruler, influencer, leadership, having dominion, the ability to be able to live life at your own time, stepping into the rich life. That is what the Lord is saying right now. So how do we do that? You notice that everything that Jesus is illustrating has nothing to do with prayer or fasting or going to church or spirituality. It has everything to do with the effectiveness of your entrepreneurship, the ability to take what God has given to you and to serve humanity with it. And so as a servant of God, God wants you to be effective in entrepreneurship, not just to be a preacher or a demonstrator of power alone. You need to understand that your ministry is not what you do in the church. It's the service you communicate in the world. It is not your spiritual execution, but it is the manifestation of service to humanity. And so when God says do business, He's really wanting to, He's awakening you to know that you possess the good of your identity. Now make sure you are faithful with it. Faithfulness is the business system by which you communicate, you excavate the value of your goodness, of your destiny or your potential, so that you can serve humanity with it in the marketplace. What am I saying to you today? The master said you are promoted to rule because you are good and faithful. Not just faithful, but good. So if you show up with just faithfulness without being good, God cannot promote you. He wants you to be good and then faithful. And so the faithfulness must be the means by which you express the goodness of your divine identity. It is you manifesting the investment of God. It's you fulfilling what God has ordained. And the faithfulness is the system of entrepreneurship, of value creation, the system by which you deliver value of goodness to people. And so what am I saying? As a steward, you need to know how to be able to know the potential of your goodness and the business system to communicate the value of that goodness to your generation. That is how you are going to rule and reign. God says it in another way to Adam. He says you should be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion. And then you shall have dominion. And so therefore, I'm going to take you through a process where you're going to know who you are, the goodness of your identity. You're going to translate it into a value of service. You're going to have a system that is going to scale that service and multiply it and communicate that value in the marketplace, so you'll be profitable. Based on that, you are going to have and be ushered into rulership and influence, because you have the riches, the true riches you are looking for. It's time for you to understand your future is in the hands of your activities today. You can literally design the life you want to live by literally making sure that what you do today is going to lead you to communicate value in the vicinity of your influence. That is how you can secure the future that you want. It's time for you to step into the true riches, utilizing the kingdom principle. It's time for you to be all that God has ordained and manifest your prophetic dream and establish the promise that God has given to you. Until next time, remember, we're taking a journey to the greatness of our destiny. Step into the car with me, because you are going to enjoy the ride. God bless you. Bye-bye.